personal connection is important because I think a lot of times, and by all means, I'm not like, I don't look at myself as a celebrity, but people tend to idolize more well-known people. And I think those people tend to forget the fans almost. Like they become too busy or they become too isolated. And I'm like, you have to be vulnerable and you have to be relatable because these are the people that's supporting you. And so I try to be really mindful of that.
Hmm.
And just knowing that like we're all the same, it's just like our career paths are different. So that's kind of my
Yeah.
approach. And then as far as naming my business, it was the fan favorite university originally, but then a buddy of mine at Princeton University said that a lot of universities take offense for like organizations that use the university title.
Hmm.
So I switched it to fan favorite club, and club is an acronym for creating leaders who understand business. So
I didn't know that. Yeah.
yeah,
So
a lot of people don't really know. I haven't really told the full story, but yeah, it's fan favorite club, creating leaders who understand business.
on your IG, is there periods in between the letters to indicate that it's an acronym for something else?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not at the moment.
Okay. No, that's really,
I
really
might have
cool.
to look into that though.
Yeah, that it's, I mean, you don't have to, but when people see periods in front, but you actually don't have to do that as well because FUBU is known as for us, by us,
Uh-huh.
and it's called FUBU. But there's
Right.
no periods in the middle. It's just the way the logo is. So you probably can just keep it like that and leave it as a secret. So when people do interview you or if you do public speaking, and maybe one of those like really cool shots, like, oh wow, that's really, really cool. We just thought it was like a club that you did. It's like, no, actually it means this.
Yeah, well, it's also a play on words and like people that don't know me personally, I'm very like I'm a super like education freak. I love English. I love creativity. I love learning about the way things work. And so I figure when you think of a club, it's something that you are a part of, something you belong to. So it's like, okay,
Right.
it's a fan favorite club. It's a place, but while you're here, you'll learn how business works, like how to customer service, how you dealing with numbers and marketing and money and just crafting out an actual business and a brand. So that's my intention.
So this is crazy. So your business is not only to help a lot of kids develop their skills, which I see you doing a lot with kids,
Hmm.
and I'm also seeing you school them all the time, which is really not even that funny. Every time I watch a video, it's like, there she goes again. Like this
Yeah,
kid standing there, he's got his ankle broken. He's like, thanks, Lakeisha. Appreciate it. I
yeah.
love this
I
kid.
be chilling for real. Yeah, it is. It's more than basketball. I think like for me, I've kind of transcended my basketball. I'm still playing. I could still go play tomorrow if I chose to, but much
Hmm.
like Colette from the Jets, I had several opportunities to continue playing because they tell you, play overseas if you don't make it to the WNBA, keep going back every year until the WNBA teams find you. And I'm like, I'm not going to keep exchanging my time just for someone to validate me. I know what I can bring to any table,
Right.
that would give me the opportunity. So I actually chose to walk away from my professional career in
Wow.
Europe to just really go all in with my business and my passion. So, and I mean, it
That's
worked out for me.
crazy.
I have no complaints.
No, you shouldn't. You know how many people and when they get that opportunity to do something that most people dream about, right? It must be the hardest decision for you to make to give up something that you love so much because you realize you love something even more, but you're always going to battle with yourself. Did I do the right thing? Because me, I would love to play ball in the NBA. Like I
Mm-hmm.
love playing basketball.
Yeah.
I would like this is how I would play in the NBA. I'll be like, yo, Kobe, you want a towel? And I throw
Yeah.
it at him, throw him a backwards pass.
Yeah.
You
Like,
need some
yo,
water?
yo, catch my towel, bro. Nah, I
You
think
know?
like for me, it wasn't hard at all. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Because I feel like everything that I wanted to do with basketball, like God's been able to allow me to do it. Like now what my fans and my family, what they want to see me do, that's different. But I went to school for free. I have no student loan debts. I went on a 100% scholarship.
All right, we're ending this right now.
Yeah, like I literally have no complaints because again, number one, I played in 5 different countries. So after my
Hmm.
first year, once I learned the business of sports, I was like,
Right.
I'm gonna just, I negotiated all my own contracts. I pretty much created my own highlights. I shopped it to coaches. And even when I remember my last season in Bulgaria, they were like, oh, if you come back, we'll triple your salary. We'll do this and that. And I was like, nah. Like, I didn't even explain why. I was like, nah, I'm good. And it was like, you could pick whatever Americans you want to play with. And I was just like, it's just something more in me than just basketball. And I realized I
Yeah.
didn't want to keep playing until I'm 40 just to try to prove myself to anybody. Like, I know I'm good. I know I'm talented.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah, you
also
do.
knew
You got
that,
skill.
yeah, I
Hmm.
knew that also in business, the executives make more decision making and money and impact than the actual players. The players are just used as like, go out there, entertain. Here go a couple
Yeah.
dollars. Like, and for me,
Yeah, people
it
don't
wasn't about
understand that.
yeah, it wasn't about the money. Otherwise, I would have took their offer. I was just like, nah, really. I was like, I'll be back if I really want to play. I'll return, and they
Hmm.
respected my decision, so it wasn't hard for me.
Yeah, and you hit it on the nose too, because people don't realize unless you're a star player in any team,
Uh-huh.
those are the ones that get the big bucks. And honestly, their salary pretty much pays their taxes because a real true star player, even though people don't understand, like, oh, he's getting paid 5 million a year.
No, you're
Okay,
not.
that's not.
Yeah,
But first of all, that's not what they're getting paid. You got to take out management fees. You got to take out taxes. You got to take care of everything else. The real money what players look for are endorsements
yeah.
because if you're getting paid 5 million a year, but McDonald's pays you 50 million a year, now your salary is paying for the taxes from McDonald's, right?
Hmm.
And that's why people don't understand. Yes, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money, but you hit it on the nose. Unless you're a star player that can last the test of time in any professional sport, you have to have a backup plan. And I have a feeling, I may be wrong, maybe one of your major decisions on what you did, not only is it because you're passionate and love what you do, which I admire, did a part of that decision have to do with your injury? Thinking that,
No,
what if I get injured again?
no, not at all. I think um once I graduated college in 2012, and then I lived in Atlanta for 6 months. I played in the semi-pro league. So once I graduated, I was fully healed. I literally just took a couple of months off, and then my body healed itself. So I didn't
Oh, wow.
I was injury free. Um, and then I think being in Europe, it changed my diet a lot. So I cut out a lot of fast food, like pork, beef, all that stuff. So naturally, I just had more energy. I actually felt better, Todd, post college than I did in college. And so
Wow.
again, my decision to walk away wasn't because of fear of getting hurt. It was just like, I know my worth. I know what I could bring to any table I choose to sit at. I want to do this and I want to do that. And when I feel like coming back to this, I will. So that's pretty much what it was. Like, pursuing fan favorite wasn't even a backup plan. This was my first plan. And basketball is like,
Hmm.
okay, if this really doesn't work out, I can get in shape and go play like tomorrow if I wanted to.
Oh,
So
yeah. And I'm, like I said, I see you online all the time. Like, this girl has not lost a beat at all. Um, by the way, your partner, I may be wrong. Is it your brother who's one of your business partners that you work with, or just somebody you trust? Because
I
I
have
know.
I have I have two brothers that I consult in, but my main partner, her name is Simone. She does like the videography and the photography. She's like the creative director behind the brain in the company. So I'm more of the like, I'll visualize something, I'll concept it up, and then she actually like brings it to life like through digitizing it and just doing different creative concepts. So I would consider her my business partner.
Oh, wow. So where is Fan Favorite Club located if some people on here now are considering bringing their kids over and stuff like that?
It's I would say we're in Mercer County, New Jersey, so we are located in I'm gonna say Trenton, but the GPS says Hamilton.
Okay.
My paperwork says the address says Trenton, but I just tell everyone it's in Hamilton, New Jersey.
Okay.
Um,
I got to be honest with you. The type of club that you have going on right now, I would love to see something because I know the Knicks do a lot of cool stuff, especially for a lot of great clubs.
mhm.
I would love to see during halftime, like Fan Favorite Club playing each other. Like,
Right.
and then they talk about pretty much like, right now in the Knicks, it's the Fan Favorite Club, with CEO Lakeisha Sutton. If you guys don't know, she gives back to the community. These kids learn business, blah, blah, blah. So let's give it up to these kids. Let's watch the halftime show.
Yo,
And then
I think that would be a great idea. You just gave me something else to just add to my to-do list because it's very
you
possible.
can get it done. I mean, and I'm sure you connected to the right people. That would be amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
Yeah, and can you get me a coffee and a Big Mac,
no,
please?
no, no. That's my guy. I have to say this too. I have a great team. I feel like I started this journey in 2013, and I started out essentially by myself. And every year, there like God was just putting one more person into my path that just added more value. And now that we're at the point where we have actual facility and a location, like I have everyone that I need, right? You know, to keep it going. Because sometimes I'm not even here and it's still running itself. But I'll never ask anybody to get me any coffee or anything like that. I'm not gonna be that type of CEO.
Well, I'm asking. I want some coffee.
Yeah, I'm not going. I don't want to be that person.
I want to. No, I'll pay.
Oh yeah,
Here,
no, for sure.
no, here's some gas money. Here you go.
Look,
Take it.
I'm like you ate today. Let me buy you some lunch. Buy you some lunch.
No, but I honestly, with the way everything's going right now, I think this is the perfect time for you if you actually reached out to them or even Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn now is killing it, right? I think if you reach out to them, Brooklyn Nets and New York Knicks are known for giving back. And they love organizations like yours that do a lot. And they do offer a lot of those things. Even before a game, sometimes they allow organizations to do a preliminary game before the actual Knick game and they give you free seats.
Mm-hmm.
Or they give you free seats and allow you to play a halftime. Because what it is, especially with everything going on in the world right now, New York is the one city that got hit the hardest
Mm-hmm.
because we're the economy to literally the planet. And because everybody's moved out, restaurants are closed, businesses are closed. Believe it or not, organizations like yours bring positivity and happiness to what people need right now. I
What?
can see you guys play, let's say, like a 10-minute game, 5-on-5, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hook up the referees because my father runs the PSAL.
Oh well,
And
see, there we go, right there.
yeah,
That's
a lot
important.
of people don't know that. My father's the founder of the PSAL. So it would be amazing. And I think it'll be such a great thing for your organization. It'll take you to such a level. It'll put your thing on a grand scale. But the Knicks, I'm telling you, if you write the right proposal and
Right.
you get it to the right person, I think they'll love it. I really, really think they do.
I think so too, and I think one of the things that I'm most proud of is that although I am not a nonprofit, we do give a lot of we give back a lot, you know, and we're still a
Yeah.
small business ourselves. So even with just being able to open a business and during COVID and it's still, you know, like it's still running itself. And I just think that's the small community one, but two, what we're providing, the safe space, the activities, the positivity, the empowerment, the entrepreneurship, no one's doing it. You know, like we have after school programs and things like that, but I haven't seen any program actually in my area be able to target kids, service them, and actually retain the kids. You know, they want to keep
Right.
coming back. And so, like
Hmm.
you witnessed it earlier, I couldn't even really hear you because this event was supposed to be over at 6:45. It just didn't leave yet. So I'm like, oh
Right.
man, I'm like, I love y'all, but y'all gotta get out. We got an interview. Um, but no, I think it's a great place, and I'm just really proud because I feel like I'm just getting started. For as much as I've been able to accomplish, you know, with my team, I feel
Yeah.
like we have a lot of things that we haven't even like tapped into. So I'm excited.
No, you should be. You have a lot to be excited about. Have you ever had any like guest pro players stop by and give like some a little inspiration to some of your kids because of you?
I haven't actually. I'm in the summertime. Two of my Globetrotter teammates came by. They were just like, "Yo." It's funny because when I joined the team, all the boys would be on the bus, like playing video games, playing cards, just
Yeah.
whatever on social media. And I always had my computer just writing up papers, just doing graphics and marketing. And they would
Hmm.
always joke like, "What you fixing people credit score? You doing your taxes?" And I'm just like, "Now I'm just building my brand." And I don't think they really realize the importance of having a brand because their brand was the Globetrotters, you know. And
Right.
so, great organization. Although I'm a proud Globetrotter, I am also my own entity. And so when
Right.
I came off tour, I was able to just execute all of my ideas because I had the plans, I just had to implement them. And
Hmm.
so again, on tour, two of my teammates said, "Oh, if you really open up this building, I'm gonna come through." So when I actually opened, I said, "Yo, remember you said if I added that, you're gonna come through." So Max Pierce, who's actually from New York, he's like the super viral sensation with Duncan. He came
Yeah.
through for a day and he gave the kids some feedback on, just strengthening their legs and taking care of their body. And then one of my other teammates, Rock Middleton, his name is Wham on the Globetrotters. He also came through and he was the rookie of the year, like back to back. So two of them came
Wow.
through. And now at the end of March, I have two WNBA players coming for like a pop-up, like a meet and greet. So I think once I do one or two and market it the right way, everyone will want to come here.
Yeah, you can eventually make this really into a great, which it already is, but just an amazing, amazing program. And I mean, it's another cool thing. I do a lot of marketing, so I'm going to throw a lot of stuff your
I'm
way.
wondering if I should
Um,
take notes, Doc. Should I take notes?
yeah, take notes. I talk to a lot of big companies, and I always like advise and stuff. It's one of the things that I do.
Hmm.
Not only with the Knicks. I mean, I think you should have Brooklyn Nets first because originally Brooke was from Jersey, and I think their main offices may still be in Jersey.
Yeah.
Um, right? So I would do that first, but hit them both up. But um, I think I just lost my train of thought. I think I really did just lose
I
my
think
train of thought.
I think I'm a definitely, excuse me, I'm gonna definitely go with the Nets because there's synergy. 2 years ago, I was picked for like a USA select team to play against the Chinese national women's team, and we
Hmm.
actually practiced in the Brooklyn Nets facility. So I have all those contacts there, as well as Kyrie is somebody who's been super supportive, since I was in college. But that's somebody
Yeah,
like I don't.
Kyrie Irving, of
Yeah, like I
course.
don't I don't feel like I have to like post our conversations on the internet to kind of like justify that I know people, but
No, you don't. When people do that, I mean, I do it on the talk show, so I always put it up and
right, yeah,
recap.
marketing.
You know what I'm saying? But what to get to before I forget?
Hmm.
Because of what you do, what are the age brackets of your kids that usually come through to your thing?
I would say between people ask me this all the time. We have elementary all the way through college. Like we have college kids that come here to get in shape, to learn, to watch film, to learn about marketing and starting their businesses. But if I had to pick a certain age, I would just say between 7 and maybe 17.
Okay, so here's a great thing. Hopefully, people are watching right now are going to hear this. So I'm going to give you some love right now. I don't know if you're
Yeah,
doing it now.
put me on game.
Your students, right?
Hmm.
They're everywhere. And the biggest places that your students are that you can get to are schools, right?
Right.
All schools. Now, the one things that schools love is extracurricular activities or important people that come in and speak on something that are going to help the kids grow,
Right.
right? Schools, this is how schools work, right? You go to high school, you learn the basics of stuff you really didn't think you needed to learn, like calculus. But the only reason why you learn that stuff is to expand your mind, so your mind can, pretty much work on other projects and learn them quicker. That's why they teach you that stuff. You may not use calculus ever, but it's supposed to expand your mind, right?
Right.
College preps you for the real world, preps. Undergraduate school gets you the job. Graduate school gets you the job, right?
Mhm.
College preps you, graduate school. However, there are a lot of people that don't have the opportunities to go to a 4-year school or get a scholarship. It costs a lot of money today.
Mhm.
Your program can actually help a lot of kids for the fact that if they come to your thing, if you're allowed to go on a school tour, speak to students, be like, listen, and talk real to them. Be like, listen, I'm from Trenton, right? I'm a woman who been through the grind, who came up and taught myself this, and I want to give back to you guys. And we don't even charge a lot, and blah, blah, blah. And your parents, have the parents there because the people with the money, those are the parents, and they
Yeah.
just want the best thing for their kids,
Right.
right? So if you talk to 200 kids per auditorium and 10% of those kids come to your school, your numbers are going to just grow,
Right.
right? But you're also going to be helping out so many kids because what do all kids have in common? None of them learn business
Hmm.
because nobody ever teaches them business. Nobody teaches business in the industry. They just don't. You go to school, they don't learn business unless
That's
unless
so
you choose
true.
the courses to learn business, unless you
Right.
choose those courses. But the majority of people that go out don't learn business. Somebody
Mm-mm.
like you is actually giving back. Say, like, listen, guys, if you're not going to go to school or choose not to, or even if you want to come learn more, you'll play basketball with me. I'll teach you skills, but at the same time, I'll teach you business, how to market yourself, how to brand yourself, how to go after the right people. And I will talk to you like you're a human being
Right.
because everybody talks to you like robots.
That part. Yeah, it's crazy. So we actually do have an internship program. We haven't really sent it out to any schools because, with the quarantine and everything happening, just like that was real life for a lot of us.
Right.
Um, but a couple of success stories I could share. We have one young lady. Her name is Devin. She just turned 16. I met her.
Mm-hmm.
I met her 2 years ago. I went to talk at her school because I do something called leadership lunches. So instead of just like a speaking engagement, I'll go pop up at their lunch, hang out with them, talk to them. And so Devin's like, "Oh, I want to play basketball." So she came here for about a month, and right away I was like, "It's something more to you besides basketball, like me." So got to know her, her family. She's into art. She wanted to be a photographer. So Simone, the director of the production company department
Mm-hmm.
for Fan Favorite,
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "Hey, I have a production company. You can intern with me. I'll teach you how to use the camera, how to edit, how to do graphics, and all these other stuff."
Right.
And she was shy, right? And so we had a film last year, and it was just beautiful to watch, like Simone direct all these different little kids. And I
Right.
say little, I mean like high school kids, but she gave high school kids and middle school kids an opportunity to actually be a part of a set. Like we had someone just holding up the mic. We had a fan person. We had someone that was
Mm-hmm.
signing people in, getting the talent together. We had someone that was on the camera. So basically, these seventh, eighth, and ninth graders had an opportunity to just rotate jobs all
Nice.
weekend just to see, like, okay, I might be interested in being a photographer, or maybe I just want to be a writer, or I want to be a director. Like, and I thought it was just the coolest thing ever to see everyone just be exposed to something different. Because
That's
we'll
great.
watch TV all day, but no one knows that like you can create a TV show right now if you have the right resources and tools. So
That's right.
that's what we like to do. And even like
That's right.
there's another kid who's like, "Listen, I'm not a basketball player. I just want to learn how to do business." I was like, "All right, well, if you come intern with me, I'll give you some tasks slowly but
Mm-hmm.
surely. You'll learn, P&L statements and how to write up contracts and how to follow up and the importance of marketing and customer service and things like that. Because a lot of times people say they want to do something without learning how to do it. And so I feel like the Fan Favorite Club gives people an opportunity to curve. It's like a learning curve. Like you will avoid the pitfalls because we're giving you actual hands-on activities. And like you
Mm-hmm.
said, we're treating you like humans, so we're not micromanaging. It's not
Right.
I'm not a teacher. If I ask someone to make a sign-in sheet and they do it wrong, I'm not going to kick them out my facility. It's like, okay, this is
Right.
how we do it this way.
But in your head, you're like, I'm gonna kill that person later.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I gotta get somebody to actually know what they do. It's like, no, I'm just joking.
No, no, of course.
I think people have to be in a position to fail in order to learn. Again,
Yep.
like with me, I wish I would have had someone in my community who owned a business or did something that I could have just went and interned with or just learned from before I jumped off the cliff. But
Right.
I jumped off in 2013 and never looked back. So I mean,
No, but
I'm
which is
fine.
which is really great.
Mm-hmm.
And to go off on another note, we were talking about it a little. How did you obviously tried out for the Globetrotters and you made it, which is probably an amazing when you got that call that you're a Globetrotter, because if people don't know, Globetrotters is a huge staple, not just in New York, but they've made a global impact around the world because like Curly Neal and Meadowlark Lemon, like these guys that really started it, they have made an impact positively just to charities they work with. It was such a great organization back then. I don't know how it is now. I loved the Globetrotters, such entertainment. Um, how did you become to even try out for them? Like that's
Um,
just, you
yeah, it
know?
was so honestly, I was just hanging out with some friends and everyone's like, "Are you still playing? You still got it. You playing?" And someone said to me, "You should try out for the Globetrotters." And I'm like, "What?" Like, and not in an ignorant way. Obviously, I knew who the Globetrotters were, but
Right.
when they said it to me, I was like, "Me, a Globetrotter?" I was like, "I don't know how to do tricks and spin the ball and like do all that stuff." And they
Right.
was like, "Well, one of my friends on the team, his name is Angelo. Angelo, he's actually called Spider. That's his stage name."
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "I'm gonna connect you with Spider. They're actually looking for more females because at the time, the star of the Globetrotters, Fatima Lister, she had got pregnant, so they didn't know if she was going to come back or not. So they were looking for more female Globetrotters to try
Right.
out. They sent my name to like the recruiters. The recruiters looked me up. They called me like the same night and was like, "Please come to the tryout." And I was like, "I don't think I could make it," because it was kind of last minute, and I have a business that I'm running, so
Mm-hmm.
I didn't just drop everything. It was like, "Oh, let me go to the first tryout." I was like, I kind of got a commitment, but if it comes back around, I'll do it again. And so it came back around. They flew me out to, it was funny. I was actually in Syracuse, New York, speaking about public health and safety. And right after I finished my panel, they flew me out to Atlanta for a tryout. So I'm literally going from one career hat, I guess, which is public speaking,
Right.
to something different. Right off the plane, we went in, tried out. It was me and two other girls, and I'm the one that they called back. So thank God for the opportunity. It was a great experience.
Oh yeah, Globetrotters are awesome. That's actually how we met. We met at the LL Cool J jumper ball camp that he does every year, which was awesome. I wasn't expecting that. You had Roxanne Shante was in the house.
It was crazy.
Uh,
Like it was just a
I
bunch of
bought
stars
Oh, it's
everywhere.
awesome. Yeah, well, a lot of the kids. I bought T Money from Yo MTV Raps. You
Mhm.
guys were there, the Harlem Globetrotters. I think Senator Leroy Comrie was there. And then obviously LL was there, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And he's just a down-to-earth dude. I really appreciated him for that.
Yeah, it was
And
crazy. I wasn't supposed to come to that because a week before that actual event LL Cool J had, I was booked. I hate saying booked, but I had a, a book signing in Connecticut. So I did a book signing and I did a clinic and I did like a pop-up shop or something.
right,
And so when I got back home, I just came up, I had like a earache really bad. I had a really bad earache. So I went to the doctor. They're like, "Oh, you have a double ear infection or something, like swimmer's ear." It was swimmer's ear. So when my PR guy called me, he said, "Keisha, we just booked this thing with LL Cool J. It's for kids. This is right up your alley. You have to go." I'm like, I don't even feel well. I can't go to that. And so just having faith again, I was like, you know what? Let me take my medicine. Let me just tough it out. Let me just, it's for the kids. Let me go. And so when I
yeah.
went, I just remember. I don't know if you remember. If you look back at my pictures, I have something in my ear. I just got out the
I don't think I saw it because you had your hair down
yeah.
in
I
one of
had
the
a lot
pictures.
going on in my ear. So I was just thinking about it's people that have worse situations, and I like they don't complain. So I said, let me just stop complaining, go do my job, come home, and I'll rest. And so I'm glad that I went because I met you and you were super cool. So
Yeah, and I'm glad I met you too. That's one of the reasons why I go to a lot of those events because normally you can meet a lot of people, but you always end up meeting that one really cool person. And that day I just met you, Colette, and it was just really, really dope. And yeah, I just ended up becoming friends and connecting. And the first thing I said to you, which I tell a lot of people to say when you meet somebody of a certain stature, I said, look me up.
hmm
And the reason why I said that is because too many people come at you talking crap,
yeah,
telling you all this stuff. And I think I said one thing to you, and I got your info. You took mine. I said, just do me a favor, just look me up. Because if you're Googleable, no, if you're credible,
hmm
you're Googleable,
right,
right? I tell people that all the time. And we just end up hooking up. We talked a lot, and I did a lot more research on you. And that's what I loved about it because I found out that you weren't just a ball player.
hmm
And
that's
that's
like
how I learned about fan favorite.
that's like the last thing that I lead with. Like it's always weird when I do appearances and they're like, "Oh, she's this great basketball player," and I'm like, I'm okay, but I was like, I will be known as a great entrepreneur, a great um change maker, a great leader, a great philanthropist, someone that actually cared and did the work, like not just say stuff because it sound good or I'm gonna give back to kids, like for the optics, like I'm actually doing the work. So that's what I want to be known for more than a basketball player.
Which is awesome. And do you ever find it difficult? Like, I mean, I love doing the right thing. We were talking about before you came back on. I do civil rights leader and I
Mhm.
work with the home. I do a lot. Like, I love giving back. Do you ever find sometimes that some people are just not appreciative of the good stuff that you're trying to do for them? And at the end of the day, you're trying to do a selfless act, but there's just no appreciation to it.
Um, I think in my particular journey, Todd, I've had really genuine, solid people who were appreciative, like the people that I kind of pulled in to build on my team. Um, there's been times where I had to kind of cut people off because it goes from, hey, I want to help you, so let me help you, to these people, they come in and they want to offer help, but then it's like they start trying to compete with you or they try to be you. So it gets weird sometimes. Um, and I kind of use the analogy of people could say what they want about Diddy, but one thing that I respect about Sean Combs is that he put a lot of people,
Business.
he about his business, like he put a lot of people on. And now, no, he didn't have the best contracts, but again, it is up to the person to do their due diligence and do research. If you don't understand it, you have to stop being cheap and hire somebody to understand it for you. So it's like people have all these dreams and goals, but they don't want to do the work and they don't want to sacrifice. They just want it.
100%.
They don't want to do any. They don't want to invest. They don't want to do anything but just show up and get the credit for something. And so I learned
100%.
that. I learned that early, like just to be careful of who's coming and going, because I've seen
Mhm.
so many people come and go. But I have a good group.
Yeah, I'm jealous now because I always get backlash, especially I'm going to tell you this because it's just really funny. Me and my brother couldn't stop laughing. Once in a while, you can't help everybody, right? You just can't. You want to, but you just can't help everybody. So we all know in New York City, homeless is just a horrible, horrible thing, and it's getting worse and worse. And every morning I wake up at like 6 in the morning. I start my day early. I go to the gym because I gotta stay in shape, you know, and whatever. So I always go to this deli and I get a little protein bar and coffee to get me going. And when I'm going there was this guy on the corner and it was one of those days a week and a half ago where it was freezing, right? It was like 20 some degrees, snowing, crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still walking my dumb ass to the gym. You know, just yeah. Everybody the normal person usually be like, "Oh man, it's snowing, it's cold. Ah, this is winter day." No, my dumb ass gets up at 6 a.m.
Uh-huh.
and I'm walking in the cold like this better be worth it. So I go, but I'm getting coffee. I'm like, you know what? I can't help everybody every day, but you know what? Today it's freaking cold. So I went in. I asked Leia, I go, listen, can I get another coffee? And can I get a bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel? That's what everybody loves.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves bacon, egg, and cheese. That's the best sandwich in the world. So I thought I got it. I come out. I go, hey, bro. I'm like, I got you some. He's like, oh, thank you, man. He's like, is that coffee? I go, yeah, yeah, this is all for you. So I gave it to him. I go, dude, just try to get somewhere warm, be safe. It's like, thank you, bro. I appreciate you. God bless you, son. No problem. So as I start walking away, I hear, what the hell is this? Are you trying to kill me? I'm lactose intolerant, bitch. And then he throws the bagel
Oh my God.
and then he throws it at me. And I'm like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm so sorry. But at the same time, I'm pissed off because I'm like,
He being
man, I could have
ungrateful.
eaten that damn
Yeah,
bagel.
he's being
I was
ungrateful.
hungry. Yeah.
He could
It's
have just
just
been like,
funny.
thank you, but I'm lactose intolerant. Could you buy this one instead?
Something like
Yeah.
I can't tell if you got allergies or what type of vegan diet you're on. I'm just trying to be a good person.
Yeah, I think uh yeah, I haven't really experienced that too much. Like I like no, I think with my family sometimes, and they just, you try to help and they just like, oh, your life has been easy. You don't get my pain. I'm like, what? I'm like, I've had it the hardest out of all of y'all. Like I'm just not making excuses. So I think that
Exactly.
that gets annoying. But other than that, I haven't
It's
had.
just crazy. You know what it is? Like most people are lactose allergies. You're not going to die if you eat a piece of cheese. You may get a stomach ache because I've had friends, and my attitude was like, okay, so you got a lactose allergy. If you get a stomach ache, I'll call the ambulance. Guess what? You got food. You go to the hospital. You got a warm place to sleep for the night, and I did my job. But
Yeah.
no, he had to throw the damn thing at my damn head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I just lost like $9 and I don't have breakfast. That's some messed up stuff. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go join fan favorite club because I ain't dealing with this bull crap no more at
Yeah.
all.
Just pull up at the. I have a sandwich for you if you pull up.
I appreciate
I'll
that.
make
I
it.
mean, hopefully we'll get a link up again in person when all this COVID thing is over. I mean, you're definitely invited to the LZUP Global concert. That's a big deal that we're working on right now, and I'm excited about that.
Oh, I
So I
still have your
definitely,
mask too. It's right over in the office.
oh, you have the mask.
Yeah, I should have wore it during the interview. I didn't think
It's
about it.
okay. I'm actually changing the logos and everything on it. So
Yeah.
just a lot of great things. But I think a lot of the stuff that we talked about today is a lot of great things I think a lot of people needed to hear, especially about you. And you have such a great aura about yourself. You're obviously a beautiful woman on the outside, but definitely beautiful on the inside. And
Thank
you can just hear it by the way you talk. Yeah, yeah, of course. I saw that the first day I met you. And what? Somebody's over there right now,
No,
like,
I will show you.
okay.
Okay, two of my coaches, they laugh. Well, one is asleep, the other one's laughing.
Who's laughing? They're laughing at me.
Yeah.
They're watching me right now, like, oh.
He like, she all right. She ain't all that. She all right. Yeah, no, I think, no, it's funny because, like, I know when I joke, my friends tell me all the time that I'm like the Lauryn Hill for our generation because, like, Lauryn Hill came out raw, just super talented, natural. But once she got in the industry and she kind of learned what it came with, she pulled back from it, you know. And everyone else couldn't understand why, but she was just like, "This not real life," you know. Like, I know
Hmm.
who I am, I know what I represent, I know why I'm here.
Yeah.
So she could do without all the extra stuff, and I think I'm the same way because someone said to me, Todd, honestly, 3 years ago, someone reached out to me on the internet, and we talked about this, I think, a little bit. He's like, "Oh, I want to be a manager," and I'm like, "I don't need a manager right now. Like, I don't have anything."
Right.
I'm like, at this point, because I've been in so many like celebrity games, and I've talked to them people. They're like, "Yo, unless it's somebody that could bring you in this amount or whatever, and y'all break it down, or you got somebody that's really hungry and believe in you and just willing to do the work, and then y'all split it
Hmm.
down, you don't need it because it's just more people in the way and just doing too much." So this one guy, we go out to lunch. I'm very professional. Like I'm very just consummate professional.
Yeah.
Go out to lunch. He's like, "I really want to be a manager." I said, "Why?" He couldn't answer me. He was just like, "I just feel like you got a lot to offer, but like you don't show it all. You don't do enough." I'm like, "Because of my social media?" He's like, "Yeah, well, number one, like you're beautiful. I don't ever see your face. Like, do people even know that you're the owner of Fan Favorite?" And I'm thinking to myself, like, on the internet, yes, there are beautiful women who post their brand and their selfies all day and da da da. But
Hmm.
like,
Correct.
I don't have time. I'm doing the work. I don't have time for that. Like, if you know me, you know what I look like. Cool. Like,
Right.
if you meet me, you'll see me in person. I don't look. I'm not a filter. I don't do filters. Like, I'm not about to sit and try to find perfect angles just for a couple likes on the internet. Like,
Right.
and more importantly, I just wanted to be respected for um my mind and like my heart, not what I look like, who I'm dating, who I know. Like, it's literally my mind and my heart because that's what matters the most to me. And so this
Exactly.
guy is like, "I want to manage you." He's like, you need like, he's like, "Tell me you need to." Mind you, didn't know me, we weren't friends. Like,
Sounded like he wanted to manage something else. That's
I
what
don't
it
know what
sounded
I
like.
don't know how he was coming, but he's like, "You need to be posting more basketball videos. You should be doing this and that to get this amount of likes and followers." And I was like, "Bro, at the end of the day, the most successful people are not even on the internet. Like, they're just not. You know,
That's
like they
facts.
don't like their work, their brands, they speak for themselves. They sell themselves, you know."
Yep.
And I said to him, I said, "Okay, well, if you want to manage me because of my basketball talent, this won't work out because someone that's going to manage me understands that I'm more than a basketball player, you know?" He's like, "Oh, well, you mentioned you have a book. I didn't see it on your website." I said, fans that really rock with Lakeisha Sutton, they already got the book, like, because it was already dropped privately, you know?
That's right.
So it's like, I do know that I have a long way to go, but I'm in no rush for no type of like fame or celebrity clout. Like, I'm very low key, Todd. Like, you seen how I was at the event. Did my
Oh, I know.
thing. I did
I
my
know.
thing and I stepped to the side. I was chilling, like
Yeah.
watching the kids play basketball. So
Yeah, no, I remember. I think that's one of the most things admire. And I don't even have the book, so I'm not a fan. So I guess I'm an admirer. That's what it is, you know.
maybe
Um, maybe
I could get you one. I could get you one. It's pretty good, actually.
it's all good. No, I mean, yeah, I love reading. I'm actually one of the last people that I like to read, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I like
Seriously.
reading. I think that's why I did it, because I know when I was a kid, besides playing basketball, reading books just kept me like motivated. It kept me it was a way for me to escape my reality. So living in the projects, living in like a small city where not a lot of activities going on, I got lost in my book. So I got to use my imagination and just kind of keep dreaming what life would look like. And so
Hmm.
when I wrote my book, I was like, well, one, a lot of kids, if they don't learn how to read before the third grade, they stop reading. They don't like it. So I was like, how can
Hmm.
I write a story that's easy to read, that's not boring, that's interesting, to one, get more people to read books, but two, get people to actually believe in themselves and just do the work. Like, just do the work.
Right,
You don't have to be a
right.
basketball player to be a fan favorite. You don't have to be a aspire entrepreneur to make a difference in the world. You just got to figure out what you want, dedicate your time to it, and just go do it and be consistent. Like, be consistent and be committed. And that's what, I think I represent.
I
Commitment.
think so too. I really do. First of all, when you spoke to me off line and you told me you don't do a lot of interviews because you have your mind set on the work for your kids,
Mhm.
right? I'm honored that I'm doing the interview with you, for the fact that I like when I'm interviewing people like you and you open up about a lot of stuff you normally don't talk about
Yeah.
because you don't need to keep talking about it over and over again, right?
Mhm.
Once you talk about it once and you have a good combo, like I'll repost it later. I want people to see this interview more and more to really learn about you and understand the mission behind what you're doing.
Right.
And that's the thing. And honestly, managers, listen, unless you trust somebody, honestly, unless you really know them, you can trust their morals, trust their
Integrity.
presentation to you,
Yeah.
trust their angle on what they want to do for you. Do it yourself because if Chance the Rapper can do it, and that's somebody who taught himself business,
Mhm.
you could do it as well you should get to the point where you already know everything about business, right?
Mhm.
Once you get to that certain point where you're so busy that you can't handle it all, now go out and get a manager that not only do you trust, but has the same values. And you have that conversation where you say one thing to your manager. I need you to handle a lot of stuff. However,
Yeah.
I want to know about every offer that comes to this table. I want to know about every possibility. And before you reject it, I want to look at it first.
Yep.
Let's work together.
Mhm.
If you can't rock with that, then you can't rock with me because managers for sometimes will turn away great opportunities for you because they don't see it as a great opportunity. You
Oh,
get paid for what you do. But what if somebody and it happened to Kevin Garnett and he fired his manager
yeah.
for doing that? Somebody offered Kevin Garnett something to do like for charity or something, it was free.
Mhm.
Kevin Garnett didn't even know about it. And when he found out about it because he knew the person, he turned to his manager like, yo, what the hell? Why did you turn that away? You didn't
You know
even
what's
talk to
crazy?
me about that.
I've been in a situation like that, not with a manager, but just someone who was like, I want to be on your team. I want to help you. You shouldn't, like, if people want to request you or book you, they should go through somebody else first. And then I'm like, first of all, no. I said, number one, I'm not that busy where I can't respond to anybody. I said, two, if I really can't get back to them, then I have people in place to, just figure out the information and bring it back to me. I'll say yes or no, and then we can set up a follow up or something.
Yeah.
But I've been in situations where like people will say, "Hey, could you come? My kid having a birthday party. they're your biggest fan. Could you just, if you can, I know you're busy, could you just show up? And the
Right.
person's like, don't do it unless they're gonna pay you. And I'm just like, yo, I'm like, is everyone really that like, oh, if you're good at this, you're good at your job, so you deserve to get paid $1 or whatever. Not $1, but
Right.
you gotta get paid for your time, right? And for me, it's just like, no matter how successful I become to the public, I know how I started and I know how much support my mom had and needed as I was growing up. So
Right.
I'm like, who am I to be, if you can't pay me, oh, Todd, you want to interview me? Or you got to pay me because I don't do interviews. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
I have a quarter.
who, who am I to be like that? Like, and so it's just like, I just can't see myself, even when I have a camp, like I argue with certain people, they're like, oh, there's people that didn't even play college ball that's charging this amount and they're getting it, but you're charging less and you're
Right.
letting people come for free. And I'm like, okay, and like I sleep very well at night. I have no complaints, you know, like I feel like I know what my intentions are and I know the importance of what you give out, you'll get back times 10, you know? So
Yeah, it's fate,
yeah,
karma.
it's just weird because people do feel like they're like, oh, if you come speak to these kids from Trenton at a Trenton school, how much you gonna charge? I'm like, girl, I'm like, the school is down the street from my house. Just tell me what time and I'll let you know if I can make it or not.
And it's free marketing for you. That's the whole point. That's why I was mentioning to you, if you have people on your team that are watching it, I believe they are, they should really put a business plan together about reaching out to all the high schools, elementary schools,
Mm-hmm.
and especially elementary schools, and give them a place where, well, not elementary, they don't want to know about business. They want to
Middle
know
school. I'll
about,
say middle school. Yeah, middle school.
yeah, fifth graders are like, listen, is it Wednesday? Because I want to know if we're getting chocolate milk
They
today.
just
That's all
want to
they
know
give a
what
crap about.
is it pizza for Friday. They don't care if they don't know about business.
Exactly. But if you work that plan and you start working around the schools, the thing with the Knicks and the Nets, they'll bite. They're all about it. Schools love it. Schools love programs that can help their kids learn more because schools loved when they could put on their graduation walls and honor walls that this person went to this school, that person went to that school, and you could actually play a role in a lot of these kids' lives because some of these kids don't have parents to really take the time to show them in that direction.
Right.
That's why Boys and Girls Clubs, the YMCA, fan favorite club, and a lot of the other organizations that take their time to give back
Yeah.
make a difference in a lot of people's lives because sometimes they don't have the education at home to give them the education out into the world. And you can give that to them because sometimes somebody just needs a friend to point them in the right direction. And that's why people like you are very important in this society. There just really is.
I appreciate you for just pretty much you get it, you know, like it's not because in the beginning, like, oh, what's fan favorite? Is it just you selling t-shirts? I'm like, no. Do you have to be a basketball player? I'm like, no. Do you have to be an entrepreneur? No. I'm like, no. I'm like, just be yourself in a world that doesn't want you to be. Like that tells you be a leader, but then they get mad at you for doing your own thing. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
I think that you're right. You hit it right on the head. We are in a unique position because we're not competing with schools, we're enhancing the schools that choose to partner and help us out because you're right. Like there's high schools with nice facilities, production studios, a production class, but like no one's using it throughout the year. Like once the class is over after a month or two, it just sits dormant. And I feel like
Facts.
if we give them, okay, the movie film crew, let's actually sit at a table, write a script, let's have conversation about what you want to talk about, put the characters together, let's put one that's keeping them off the streets, right? For those kids that might live in a house with 30 different people, it just is what it is. That's giving them that peace of mind for those that hour or two, right? For that family that might be a two-parent home, but the parents are so busy making a living for their spoiled kid. That's attention for that kid because busy parents, they're never really home. Um,
Mm.
and so I think it's unique in a lot of ways because we literally can service anybody that needs help, you know, and it's just not. I would be honest. I think we help more young adults than actual kids, like young adults that are out of school, so there's no school programs for them, but they didn't get to go to college, or they went to college but they couldn't afford it, so they ended up dropping out. Like, we have stuff for everybody. It's just a matter of who needs it the most. So
Yeah, and it's great. And you're doing it all for the right reasons, and you started out small and you're growing and growing. I'm telling you, man, if you keep this up, you're going to do a lot greater things in the
keep this up.
future.
I want to be like Oprah. I want to be like, no, I want to be like
Keep it up, Oprah. Keep it up.
Oprah. Little
You
Oprah.
know, and I'm going to tell you this in front of people live right now. I'd be more than happy to, because as you see me, I'm working, and I'll repeat it because a lot of people don't know, and I'll say it again. If you guys have kind of noticed me, I've been working with attorney Ben Crump on a lot of the civil rights issues, which is very important to the education of a lot of kids to learn about this. I'm the white guy standing behind Keon Howell, Christian Hall, Ben Crump. If you guys saw the evidence that just came out on the Malcolm X murder, the reason why I had pictures on my site, it was a private press conference that only the press and the Shabazz family and Attorney Crump was at. But I was there because of what I do, and they wanted me there because there's so many angles in the world, and civil rights is a huge part of it. It's about giving back and about talking about all humans, about white, black, the whole nine. So that plays into a lot of role what you're doing, because these kids need to hear from different angles on the importance of, yes, you can do whatever you want to do. Forget about this right here. Just do it. There are people out there that will support you and do it. The ones that don't, they can stick their racist ass into the corner. I couldn't give two craps about them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't deal with people like that. I deal
Right.
with the world in a whole. I'd be more than happy to come out there, obviously free because you're my girl,
I think you
and
would love
speak to
it.
these kids. And I love speaking to kids. I speak all over the country. But when you speak to kids, not at them,
Hmm.
they learn a lot more, especially from somebody like me who doesn't know what it means to be an African American in today's world. But if I can understand, which I do, and bring a new light to the world that there is hope and you're looking at it, it makes them even better feeling that there is a future that they can have.
Right.
So I'd be more than happy to do that. So before we go, first of all, thank you for being on. This is incredible interview. I
No,
love it.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is when I share it to IG after we're done, I'm going to take it down and then put it back up because I'm going to edit the first part of it. So I wanted to start where you're actually here and going through. Nobody wants to hear my commercial about the bagels and everything.
Right. And like the balls and the kids screaming and going crazy. Yeah,
You
I
don't
don't
want to
need
hear
that.
all that. So
That.
when I share it, it'll be up for like 30 seconds and then I'm going to take it down and then repost it. But where can people find you if they want to connect with Fan Favorite or Lakeisha Sutton or just in general?
Um, Definitely come see me at the Fan Favorite Club. All my social media are the same. It's at Fan Favorite 11. Um, Most recently, I didn't even mention this, but I just took a head coaching job at the George School for girls varsity basketball. So I'm pretty excited about that because that's an opportunity to really build another program. You know, it's building again. And I think at the George School, you mentioned it earlier, George School is a high academic school, beautiful facilities. It's basically like a little college. It's a private school, very expensive to go to, and just being able to have representation of minorities and the kids that might not could afford the school, but it's like given the right support system, given the right mentors, the right teachers, the right extracurricular activities, you save a life. And so I'm super
That's
excited
right.
to be at George School. And to your point about talking to kids, not at them, when I first came in, I think the team was kind of like nervous and like, oh, this is this superstar basketball player. She might be hard on us or whatever. And
Right.
I made it clear. I said, this is not about me. This is about you and how I can help you ladies become leaders on and off the court. I want you guys to have fun. You don't have to impress me. I just want you to hold yourself accountable and be a good
Hmm.
teammate. You know, so it's just
Hmm.
like you can find me at the George School coaching the basketball team. You can find me at the Fan Favorite Club. You could most likely find me interning with you one day, Todd, somewhere on this TV show. We get the studio.
There's a lot of listen. There are a lot of things that we can do,
Yeah,
and I'd be more than happy to grab a cup of coffee with you and your team or whatever,
that
and
would
we
be
can
great.
chop it up because some of the greatest businesses in the world are the ones that just talk to each other. Even
Yeah,
though they're doing their own thing, if they share some valuable ideas but not hate on each other, bigger things can happen because what you're doing is not about you, it's about other people.
right.
Um,
You're hilarious. You
before,
said if people don't hate on each other. That was funny. I caught that one.
but it's the truth. Yeah, I talk a lot of crap.
Yeah, no, but it's true. It's all about like, and I don't want to keep going on and on, but
Okay.
it's really about group economics and economic empowerment, right? So it's like if I see someone doing what I want to do, I have to be humble enough to ask, and if they don't
Yeah,
respond, at least I ask.
of course.
So
You have to do that.
it's like if I can't if I'm not in a position to like do it right now, at least I can add value to what they have going on until I'm
Mhm.
on my own to do my own thing. It's like if you buying a house, right? If you don't have that 20% down payment or whatever, you can just help somebody out with a closing cost or whatever. Like you're still a part of that person's home buying process, and they'll never forget that. So when it's
Yep.
your turn to buy your house, maybe you don't have the PMI or the closing costs, or you don't have the money for the furniture, but someone can come and add value and help.
PMI. What do you know about personal mortgage insurance?
I know a little bit. I know a little bit, Todd.
All
I'm
right,
working on
all
it.
right. I hear the real estate word. So before we go, by the way, to give you one more thing, reach out to NBA Cares. That's another one because you're a basketball star and you have a name behind it. NBA Cares does a lot of great things. If you can get to them, where they give back to communities, giving back to kids, they're a big part of that. So if you're able to get to there, you might be able to partner up with them with some cool stuff,
I think
and they'll advertise for you. By the
is
way.
let me ask you, is NBA Cares the same as like the junior WNBA and junior NBA? Because I actually have a partnership with them. We have I'm
You
looking at my poster right now, but
possibly, I'm not going to say yes, but um, junior NBA, I think that's a little different. NBA Cares is when the NBA itself has the NBA players go out to organizations and volunteer to give back.
okay.
They promote that all over every game
Hmm.
whenever they're in town. Yeah, so you might want to look into that. So, guys, we've been talking it up for quite some time. This is a great conversation with Lakeisha Sutton. If you guys don't know Lakeisha, she was a former NCAA star, turned Harlem Globetrotter, turned humanitarian, who is the founder of the Fan Favorite Club. She's an amazing woman inside and out. Okay. If you guys don't know, my name is Todd Wharton. You can find me at Todd Wharton Official. I do a talk show. I also run New York City's Peace Concert, which is actually, we have a big announcement coming up this summer, which is backed by the city of New York. And I'm a civil rights activist. So please follow me at Todd Wharton Official. And Lakeisha has closed out the first month of FaceTime with Todd Wharton, all celebrities and people from around the world. We interview 5 days a week and give you a preview of next week. I won't get into all the other guests, but we do have Monday. We have from the Bronx Tale and Goodfellas, Joseph D'Onofrio is going to be in the house. And then Friday, guys, mark your calendar. Friday, March 5th, not only is my brother's birthday, who, by the way, I got to give him a shout. Have you guys seen the Super Bowl, the Little Nas X commercial with Logitech? My brother's one of the CEOs for Logitech who is handling that video, so I got to give it up to my brother. But March 5th, Amazon Prime is dropping Coming to America. And in the house, I got Casey and John Amos. Mr. McDowell is going to be in the house
Are you
next Friday.
serious?
Yeah, I told you I got Celebrities Deep coming through.
That's
So
crazy.
next Friday, Mr. McDowell is going to be in the house. I'm going to be chopping it up with him on a premiere. And we have a great lineup throughout the month. So I'm excited about this. Lakeisha, thank you for being on. Thank you to your team. Thank you for what you're doing. And we really appreciate you. And guys, please wear a mask, be safe, practice social distancing. If you don't do it for you, do it for your family, do it for your friends, and do it for the people that you love. And I love the
Absolutely.
mask. And like I always tell people at the end of the show, if you're not living a passionate life, then whose life are you living? Guys, have a great night. I'll speak to you soon. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Lakeisha. You're welcome.